Working on volume control today. How am I doing?
Well, you're a little noisy right now, John. But I think for most of the meeting, the low humming was very good. I think too the singing, John. I know you love to sing. Maybe that would have to be saved for choir. But I think that a lot of these things, as we're looking, John, is when we're looking at going into gen ed classes, these are a lot of skills that we can practice right now in our classroom, in choir, in ceramics class, and then when we look at, let's make a schedule for John to attend gen ed courses, he's already been practicing these skills in a more controlled environment, and he's usually pretty good. John, sometimes I give him the finger on the lips, and he knows that he's being loud. And sometimes he'll grin at me.
Right.
Like, I know.
That's a pretty advanced concept that he just responded with, didn't you think? And a self-awareness.
Well, John, I'll read it. No in general ed classes now.
What does that mean, John? No, and that you don't.
You would talk to him about working on it. He started after you said working on it in class now.
Oh.
preparing.
He doesn't want to go to general ed classes right now.
You say you want to go in general ed classes now, or no?
Clarify. We need you to clarify. Keep going.
Is it able to have a voice output on it?
I'm sorry?
Is that available for like a voice output? So like when he's done
The
typing?
voice
No?
output isn't good.
No.
We could either use a document camera.
Because it's one of those things where I can't, you know what I mean? We wait for it to be read back, and I didn't know if you ever wanted a voice, with it, or, like.
No,
where you hit
because
button when
the
you-
voice thing interferes.
Yeah, no, I meant like afterwards, like after he types something.
Yeah.
Would it ever be appropriate to then hit a button and the voice output comes out, or will it be something that's
Probably
read?
not.
Okay.
His voice will come in.
Oh, okay.
If it's like other kids some other kids like Seth that I got to see, who was someone that Laura also worked with.
Still not
We met Seth maybe 5 years ago, but we didn't know Laura at the time. Seth could speak extremely well, but he couldn't when Laura first started with him. So what seems to happen is the connection of the typing with the brain, then the language comes.
That's great.
So if you try to use the voice thing, you kind of
Yeah,
are
no,
interfering
no,
with
and
the
that,
process.
I just didn't know the steps. No, that's fine.
No,
I
that's
mean, because
good.
he does have speech. I mean, do you have something to say?
I've seen him type with the left hand, so we may move to faster output here.
Oh, okay.
In general ed classes now. No classes now, don't need classes to practice. No more special education.
John, the classes that you go to, like choir, ceramics, piano, those are all general education classes. Now, they're not book classes, but they are classes where you can still, use those skills, such as being a good listener. John, are you listening now?
Are you listening?
See, this is hard for me. Are you listening?
Yes.
Okay, those classes are gen ed classes. There's no books, but they are classes with all of the other high school students. You are in classes with, other 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. So, I think you're only actually with me one period a day. So that you're actually in Mrs. Bouyer's life skills room. So I know one day let's see,
Is
you're
that
a
the home
blue.
run?
That's
You're the
me,
home
that's life skills, yes. So although it's not book work, all of the other students at Carmel High School do have the same option as you to take choir, to take ceramics, to take piano. And actually, freshmen don't even get to take piano because they get bumped out. So, I mean, those are all other classes with all of your peers. Do you understand that part, that those are general classes?
For our history class, you know. I'm sorry.
I want core classes for college.
And John, I respect that, and I think that that's something that, I mean, it is almost the end of January, so I don't know how we go about, looking at things like that. You're having a big meeting that's coming up in, let's see, that's on Thursday or Tuesday, the 3rd? Thursday. You have a meeting on Thursday where we're going to look at facilitated communication on how that would help you in your gen ed classes. And then I know next year when you're a junior, we can start looking, if we wanted to look at revamping your schedule, John, to include gen ed courses. That is certainly, an option. I mean, that's, I've never had anybody want to take so many gen ed classes in my room, John. What I'd like to do is, and John, I can add to the language arts goal for right now, and I know it's difficult because we're wanting to look at all of these things right now, but until the AT evaluation is completed, we can come back at any time and look at this again. We can rework these goals after the AT evaluation. I mean, but maybe we just start looking at, I can add in the language arts, I can do it in the math, is looking at adding attending to tasks, listening and following directions, appropriate vocalizations in class. He can start using those with me in the community and also in his gen ed, in your gen ed courses, John. And then when we come back after the AT evaluation and we look at those results, where we want to start going from there.
And I'd be happy to sit down with you too and look at this and see if we couldn't create some themes in them, so that we could be working. I just, if we don't do it in a systematic manner, it's not gonna, the process is important. So we could do that. If we're all okay with what we've got now and adding that in, we can go ahead and do that. And then, like I said, and then we can take these ideas and really work on them in light of what we've seen and really get some baseline data and go from there.
This,
Aren't we reconvening in February? And
February
Is there a
25th,
date?
I believe. Mm-hmm.
okay.
And then, as far as the behavior plan went, and it kind of all ties in together, is, what we've discussed, John, this is the important part, is just being able to, and this will be a big thing, when you attend the regular Core 40 classes, is greeting new persons, greeting new teachers, greeting new friends in your classroom, greeting others on your way to class. That's a huge obstacle. John, you're a young man, and it makes people very nervous. They can be scared when you want to touch their hands and you want to be in their face. John, it's scary for others. I know you want to say hello. I know you don't mean any harm. Other people who don't know you don't know that. And so that's going to be a really big thing that you need to work on. This ball was given to me by the autism consultant just to maybe give his hands something to do, and we used it today in the hallway so that it has because he does this is how he wants to hold their hands.
Right.
He's not,
Right.
and I don't know if it's a sensory thing right there, but we're
He's got strong hands too.
he does, and when he doesn't,
Right.
and I don't.
And the ceramics is making him stronger, probably.
Well, and he doesn't know his own. He doesn't know his strength. I know he means no harm. My fear, John, is going to one day inappropriately greet the wrong person
Right.
and
Yeah.
get in trouble. And
Right, exactly.
I mean, I would never want that. I know he
Right.
means no harm. I get that.
Right,
They did the me ones too.
Yeah.
I mean, for a second that'll catch up hard, but
right.
if you know them, it's no big deal, so.
Okay, I can try to do that.
Thank you, John. And the same thing with our custodians. When our custodians are working, and I don't know if you like the uniform, but it's just we'll talk about. I'll give your hands something to do, but that's going to be the big thing. That's going to help you attend your classes, be a better person in the community, because we need to work on how we meet new people.
Okay, Donna's never had a voice before, and I think we have to keep that in mind. Now that he has a voice, what I used with a lot of students was just the red button that you push. I don't know if you guys have one or not, and it says a line, and it has a greeting. Could we not give him something that he could touch while he's walking that would say, "Hi, how are you?" Or something, you know what I'm saying? Now that he understands that greeting somebody by holding their hands or pulling them isn't a good choice. If we replace that with something that is, or carry his Alpha Smart and say hello, and we use our voice to interpret that to the person he's greeting.
Except that he did tell us that that takes too long to use that.
They're gone.
It
They're
does
moving
take
too
a long
fast.
time to
Fast in
greet.
the hallway.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, and we do have a greeting goal in there, so, I mean, Jennifer can get me out, can we get a button, do you think, and at least try it, Yeah.
I never even conceived of this as a possibility, but when he looks like he's not paying attention, he is, and this book he did yesterday, he did this chapter that I passed out, it's 5th grade, and he did that and knew it that fast
2 other chapters.
and answered the questions.
And and what's nice is that within our department, even though I'm the life skills teacher, I can call up one of the resource teachers and say, what kind of reading materials can I borrow or copy from you, and
Right.
so I can get access to all of that stuff. But again, when we're looking at, so that's why I didn't specifically write like grade levels or anything like that, because this is going to allow us to use all sorts of different materials for him to use,
Right.
and I
Hopefully,
can.
we don't know exactly.
No, I can bum a
Right.
history book off of somebody, and he and I can, and
Right.
look at it, or, but I think, really what we're looking at as far as, the grand picture, I think we'll have a clearer picture and can, tweak everything that's in here after his AT evaluation. Because, right now,
Right.
because I know Laura, you're still coming Monday, right? Laura